Shoot him. The voice cut through the Cleveland snow like ice. The gun barrel pressed against Caleb Johnson's temple. Cold. Final. Upstairs, his 8-year-old son screamed in terror. All because 12 hours ago, Caleb pulled over on a dark road and found a dying police officer who whispered, "Don't call the cops. They're the ones who want me dead." Caleb just wanted to get home to his boy. But that choice put him at war with the entire city police force. The barrel of the Glock 19 was cold against Caleb Johnson's forehead. He knelt on the worn carpet of his living room, hands zip-tied behind his back. Blood trickled from his split lip. His breath came in shallow gasps, fogging in the frigid air seeping through the kicked-in front door. "Dad? Dad?" Ethan's voice cracked with panic from the upstairs bedroom. 8 years old. Too young to understand. Too young to lose his only parent. "Shut that kid up," Captain Victor Hale said, not even looking at the officer who moved toward the stairs. Hale stood 6'2", gray at the temples, his dress uniform crisp despite the hour. 3 gold bars gleamed on his collar. 26 years on the force. Decorated. Respected. "A killer." "Please," Caleb said, forcing the word through swollen lips. "My son. He's just a kid. He doesn't know anything about Officer Emily Carter." Hale crouched down, his knees cracking. Up close, his eyes were dead. Bureaucrat eyes. The kind that signed off on paperwork and never thought about the lives underneath. About the fact that you're harboring a fugitive who stole classified police documents. About the fact that you assaulted 2 officers and fled the scene of a traffic stop. That's not. Shut up. Hale stood, brushed invisible dust from his pants. "Davis, check upstairs. Make sure the woman isn't hiding up there." "Captain." "The kid. I didn't ask for your opinion, Officer Chen." "Check." Upstairs. Caleb's heart hammered. Emily was still in the house, barely conscious, bleeding into the couch cushions in the basement. If they found her, she was dead. If they didn't find her, Ethan would watch his father die. Either way, his son would be alone. Victor. A new voice. Sergeant Marcus Webb stepped through the broken doorway, snow dusting his shoulders. Webb was younger, maybe 35, his uniform still holding the sharp creases of someone who gave a damn. "We got a problem. FBI's 10 minutes out." Someone made a call. Hale's jaw tightened. For the first time, something flickered in those dead eyes. "Calculation. We don't have 10 minutes, Hale said quietly. He pulled his service weapon. Caleb closed his eyes. Thought about his wife, Sarah, 3 years in the ground. Cancer. 31 years old. How he'd promised her, in those final days when morphine couldn't touch the pain, that he'd take care of their boy. Keep him safe. Be there. He'd failed. The gun cocked. "Wait." Webb's voice. Tight. "Captain, if the FBI's coming, and we do this, there's no explaining. Then we make sure there's nothing to explain." Hale's finger moved to the trigger. "Mr. Johnson came at us. We defended ourselves. Tragic, but necessary." Caleb opened his eyes, looked straight at Hale. 12 hours ago, he said quietly. "I should have just kept driving." Hale smiled. "Yes, you should have. 12 hours earlier." The fluorescent lights of Bernie's auto repair flickered and buzzed like dying insects. Caleb Johnson slid out from under a 2015 Honda Civic, his back protesting. 42 years old, but his spine felt 60. 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week, lying on concrete that never quite warmed up even in summer. In January, it was like lying on frozen stone. His phone buzzed. He wiped grease-black hands on his coveralls and checked the screen. "Ethan." 9:47 p.m. "When are you coming home?" Caleb's chest tightened. He thumbed a reply. "Soon, buddy. Hour maybe." "You eat the pizza?" 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. It was cold. "You," said 7. Caleb closed his eyes, leaned against the Civic's cold quarter panel. 7 o'clock. He'd said 7. It was now nearly 10. I know. I'm sorry. Mr. Burney needed me to finish this one. I'll be home soon. Promise. The single word hit harder than any curse would have. Bernie Kowalski shuffled over. 70 years old and still working because his pension had evaporated in 2008. That the kid? Yeah. You should go. I can finish up. Bernie, you can't. I got hands, don't I? Bernie waved him off. Go on. Be a dad. Job will be here tomorrow. Caleb wanted to argue. Needed the hours. Needed every dollar. Single income. Rent due in 6 days. Ethan needing new shoes because 8-year-olds grew like weeds. Dental appointment next week that insurance wouldn't cover. But Bernie was right. The job would be here tomorrow. Ethan wouldn't be 8 forever. Thanks, Bernie. Get out of here. Caleb grabbed his jacket, punched out, and headed into the Cleveland night. Snow fell in thick, wet clumps, the kind that stuck to everything and made the roads treacherous. His 2003 Dodge Dakota coughed to life after 3 tries. The heater sputtered lukewarm air. He'd been meaning to fix it. Add it to the list. The drive from the industrial district to their neighborhood on the east side usually took 20 minutes. Tonight, with the snow and late-night construction on I-90, Google Maps rerouted him through back roads he barely knew. Dark roads. Empty roads. The kind where things happened and nobody saw. His phone buzzed again. Ethan. 8 p.m. Mr. Patterson says his dad takes him fishing. Caleb's hands tightened on the wheel. Marcus Patterson. Ethan's friend from school. Both parents. Nice house, family vacations. The kind of life Caleb couldn't give his son. That's nice. Maybe we can go fishing this summer. You said that last year. Truth. He had. And the summer came and went in a blur of overtime and exhaustion. I know. I'll do better. No response. Caleb set the phone down. Focused on the road. The snow was getting worse. Visibility down to maybe 30 feet. The Dakota's wipers scraped across the windshield in a rhythm that matched his heartbeat. Tired. So damn tired. Sarah used to handle this stuff, the promises, the plans. She'd been the dreamer, he'd been the worker. Together, they'd balanced out. Without her, he was just failing in slow motion. The road curved through a stretch of industrial wasteland. Abandoned factories, chain-link fences, the skeletons of Cleveland's manufacturing past. No streetlights, just his headlights cutting through white curtains of snow. He almost missed it, almost drove right past. But something made him glance right, and he saw the tracks. Fresh. Tires had gone off the road, through the snow-covered shoulder, and down into the drainage ditch. Caleb slowed, stopped. Probably just someone sliding in the snow. They'd already called for help. He should keep driving. Get home to Ethan. But what if they were hurt? What if they were waiting for help that wouldn't come? Caleb put the truck in park, grabbed his flashlight from the glove box, and stepped out into the snow. The ditch was deeper than it looked. Caleb half slid, half stumbled down the embankment, his boots filling with snow. His flashlight beam bounced wildly, illuminating skeletal trees and twisted metal. The car was a dark sedan, relatively new, sitting at an odd angle with its front end crumpled against a drainage pipe. Steam rose from the hood, the engine still ticking hot despite the cold. Not an accident. The driver's side door was open. Like someone had tried to get out. "Hello," Caleb called out. His voice sounded small in the muffled quiet of snowfall. "Anyone here?" Movement. A figure slumped against the far side of the car. Dark jacket. Dark pants. Police uniform. Oh, Jesus. Caleb scrambled forward, his boots breaking through ice-crusted snow. "Officer, can you hear me?" The figure moved. Lifted her head. A woman. Maybe 30. Short blonde hair matted with blood. Her face was pale, lips blue. The front of her uniform was dark with something that wasn't snow. Blood. A lot of it. Hey, stay with me. Caleb dropped to his knees beside her, his hand moving automatically to her throat to check for a pulse. Training from another life. Army medic, a lifetime ago, before Sarah, before Ethan, before everything got complicated. The pulse was there but thready, fast. She was going into shock. I'm gonna call 911, okay? Just hang on. Her hand shot out, grabbed his wrist with surprising strength. No. The word came out strangled. Don't. Ma'am, you're hurt. You need. Not an accident. Her eyes focused on his, blue and desperate. They ran me off. Police. My own people. Caleb froze. What? Captain Hale. Sergeant Morrison. They? She coughed, red bubbling at the corner of her mouth. I found something. Documents. Proof. They're stealing. Drugs. Money. Evidence locker. Years. Okay, slow down. Can't. Call. Police. She gripped tighter, her fingernails digging into his skin. They'll finish it. Kill me. Say I died in the crash. This was insane. This was not his problem. Ma'am, I'm nobody. I can't. Please. The desperation in her voice cut through his resistance. I have a daughter, 4 years old. Her name is Sophie. If they kill me, she'll never know. Never know. I tried. Caleb's breath caught. Ethan's face flashed in his mind. When are you coming home? Where's the evidence? He heard himself ask. Dash cam. Memory card, behind the rear view. She gestured weakly toward the car. News. FBI. Someone honest. Footsteps. Caleb's head snapped up. Lights, coming down the road. Flashlights sweeping the area. Multiple people. Tracks lead down here. Make it quick. Staged accident. The woman's eyes went wide with terror. Caleb's mind raced. He could run. Leave her. Get back to his truck. Drive away. Get home to his son. Be safe. But then what? These cops would kill this woman. She'd die in the snow. Her 4-year-old daughter would grow up without a mother. Wondering, like Ethan wondered about Sarah. And Caleb would know. He'd know he could have helped and didn't. Damn it. He whispered. He reached into the car, popped the dash cam, tore out the memory card, pocketed it. Then he made a choice he couldn't take back. Can you walk? I don't know. We're about to find out. He got his shoulder under her arm, hauled her up. She weighed almost nothing. The blood loss was severe. She might not survive the next 10 minutes, but at least she'd get those minutes. My truck's up top. You make a sound, we both die. Understand? She nodded. The flashlights were getting closer. Caleb, half carried, half dragged her toward the opposite side of the embankment, away from the approaching lights, into the darker trees. Behind them, voices reached the crashed car. She's gone. Find her. Caleb's lungs burned. The snow was falling harder now, covering their tracks almost as fast as they made them. A blessing. Maybe the only blessing they'd get tonight. The woman stumbled, nearly taking them both down. Come on, he hissed. Just a little further. They'd circled wide through the trees, parallel to the road but out of sight. His truck sat maybe 100 yards ahead, still running, exhaust steaming into the night. But between them and safety were 3 police cruisers. Light bars, dark, parked in a defensive line. 4 officers spread out, searching with flashlights. She couldn't have gone far, one of them called. Tall, lean, maybe mid-40s. She's gut shot. She's bleeding out. Morrison, check the tree line. Another voice. Calm, authoritative. Chen, the truck. Davis, stay on the crash site. The woman sagged against Caleb. That's Hale, she breathed. He's the one. The captain. Caleb studied the man. Expensive uniform. Boots that had never seen real mud, the kind of cop who did his work from behind a desk, signing forms, shaking hands with city council, and apparently running a criminal enterprise. Okay. Caleb's mind shifted into combat mode. Old training, rusty, but there. Assess, adapt, act. We can't get to my truck. They'll see us. Then what? There. He pointed. 50 yards to the east, barely visible through the snow, an old service road cut into the industrial park, probably used by maintenance crews. If they could reach it, they could work their way back to the main road, find another way out. Big if. The woman was fading. He could feel it in the way her weight settled heavier against him. "What's your name?" he asked quietly. "Emily Carter." "Officer Emily Carter. I'm Caleb Johnson. You have that daughter, Sophie?" "Yeah, I have a son, Ethan, 8 years old, waiting for me to come home." Emily's head lifted slightly. Understanding passed between them. They were parents. That meant something. "Let's get home, Caleb. Let's get home." They moved. Slow. Agonizing. Every step felt like it would be the one that drew attention. Every crack of a branch underfoot, every rustle of their jackets seemed loud enough to wake the dead. Behind them, the search continued. Vehicles empty. Keys still in it. Run the plates. Caleb's stomach dropped. His truck. His plates. They'd know his name in 30 seconds. "Go faster," he urged Emily. Trying. They broke from the trees onto the service road. Exposed. Vulnerable. There. Movement. Flashlight beams swung toward them. Shit. Caleb broke into a run, pulling Emily along. She cried out in pain but kept her feet moving. "Stop. Police." "Like hell," Caleb muttered. Gunshot. The sound cracked across the snow. Caleb flinched, expecting impact, but the bullet went wide. Warning shot. Or bad aim. Didn't matter. They reached a maintenance building. Dark and locked. Caleb slammed his shoulder against the door. It held. Another gunshot. Closer. Around back, Emily gasped. They stumbled around the building. There, a window, low, probably for basement access. Caleb kicked it. Once, twice, the glass shattered. In. Now. He shoved Emily through first, then followed, cutting his hands on the remaining glass. They dropped into darkness, landing hard on concrete. "Find them." Footsteps pounded above. Caleb grabbed Emily's hand, pulled her deeper into the building. His flashlight was gone, lost somewhere in the trees. They moved by feel, hands on walls, stumbling over debris. A door. Another room. Stairs going up. They climbed, emerged into what looked like an old factory floor, conveyor belts long since stripped. Windows high up, letting in just enough ambient light to navigate. Emily collapsed against a support pillar. "Can't. Keep going." Caleb looked at her. Really looked. She'd lost too much blood. Her skin was gray. Her breathing shallow. She might have an hour. Maybe 2. He pulled out his phone. No signal. The industrial park was a dead zone. Okay. He stripped off his jacket, pressed it against the wound in her abdomen. She gasped in pain. "Hold this. Pressure. I need to think." Think. He was a mechanic from Cleveland. He fixed cars. He raised his son alone. He didn't do this. Didn't run from cops. Didn't harbor fugitives. Didn't play hero. But he'd made a choice back at that crashed car. And now he had to live with it. His phone buzzed. Ethan, 10:47 p.m. Are you almost home? Caleb stared at the message, then at Emily, dying against the pillar, at the darkness beyond the windows where men with guns and badges hunted them. And he made another choice. Soon, buddy, I promise. Caleb's house was a rental. $1,200 a month for 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and plumbing that froze if you looked at it wrong. The east side of Cleveland, the kind of neighborhood where people minded their business and didn't ask questions. perfect for hiding. They'd made it back to his truck, different route, careful timing, pure luck, and driven through back streets. Emily had passed out twice. Caleb kept checking her pulse at stoplights, terrified each time that it would be gone. But she held on. Now, at 11:43 p.m., he carried her through his front door. Ethan appeared at the top of the stairs, rubbing his eyes. He wore his Iron Man pajamas, the ones that were getting too small. "You're home." Then he saw the woman in Caleb's arms. The blood. "Dad?" "What?" "Ethan, listen to me very carefully." Caleb's voice came out steadier than he felt. "Go to your room. Get the first aid kit from under my bathroom sink. Bring it downstairs. Do not ask questions. Not yet. Can you do that?" Ethan stared. 8 years old. Smart enough to be scared. But also Sarah's son. Brave when it mattered. Okay. He disappeared. Caleb carried Emily to the couch, laid her down gently. The bleeding had slowed but not stopped. He needed supplies, real medical gear, a hospital. But hospitals meant questions, and questions meant police. Ethan returned with the first aid kit. His eyes were huge, frightened, but his hands were steady as he handed it over. "Is she gonna die?" "Not if I can help it." Caleb opened the kit. Gauze, tape, antiseptic. Not nearly enough. "Buddy, I need you to get me clean towels from the bathroom. And boil water in the big pot. Can you do that? Like in the movies?" "Exactly like in the movies." Ethan ran off. Caleb turned to Emily. Her eyes flickered open. "Where?" "My house. You're safe. For now. Your son. We'll be fine. Let me worry about that." He lifted the blood-soaked jacket. The wound was bad. Entry wound in the lower left abdomen. He gently rolled her. Exit wound in the back, through and through. That was good. Nothing still inside, but the bleeding. He packed the wound with gauze, applied pressure. Emily screamed, muffled against her hand. I know. I'm sorry." Ethan returned with towels and hovering near the doorway, uncertain. "Is she a cop? Then why didn't we take her to the hospital? Why didn't we call 911? Smart kid. Too smart." "Because," Caleb said carefully. Ethan processed this. Bad cops? Like in The Dark Knight? Despite everything, Caleb almost smiled. Something like that. Emily's eyes opened again, focused on Ethan. "Hey. Kiddo. Hi." Ethan crept closer. "I did. That sucks." "Yeah." Emily's lip twitched. Might have been a smile. "Yeah, it really does. What's your name?" "Emily." "Officer Emily Carter. I'm Ethan Johnson. That's my dad. He's really good at fixing stuff. He'll fix you." The simple faith in those words hit Caleb like a hammer. "I'll try, buddy." He worked through the night, cleaned the wounds, bandaged them properly. Emily drifted in and out of consciousness, delirious with pain and shock. He got water into her, a half-crushed pain pill from his own prescription after his back injury last year. Not enough, but something. At 3 a.m., she woke up lucid. Saw Ethan asleep in the armchair, wrapped in a blanket. Saw Caleb sitting on the floor, exhausted. "You should have left me." "Probably. They'll come for you now." "I know." Emily reached into her vest with shaking hands, pulled out a plastic evidence bag. Inside, a thumb drive. "Everything's here. Account numbers, video footage from the evidence locker, confessions I recorded. Captain Hale, Sergeant Morrison, Detective Hayes. 3 years of corruption." Caleb took the drive. It was small, insignificant looking, worth killing for. "Why didn't you go to Internal Affairs? Hale has friends there." "High up. I went to Internal Affairs. I'd be dead in a week." She coughed. "Needed to go outside. FBI. Press. Someone who couldn't be bought. And you were going to do that when?" "Tonight. Was supposed to meet a reporter. Anonymous tip. But they found out. Her eyes drifted to Ethan. I have a daughter, Sophie. 4 years old, lives with my ex-husband in Columbus. If they kill me, he gets full custody. They won't kill you. You can't promise that. No, Caleb admitted. But I can try. His phone rang. Unknown number. Every instinct screamed not to answer. But maybe it was Bernie. Maybe it was. He answered. Mr. Johnson. The voice was calm. Professional. Cold. My name is Captain Victor Hale. I believe you have something of mine. I don't know what you're talking about. Caleb's voice sounded steadier than he felt. He stood, moved away from the living room so Ethan wouldn't hear. Emily watched him with wide, terrified eyes. Of course you don't. Hale's voice carried the patience of someone who'd interrogated hundreds of people. You're just a good Samaritan. Stopped to help an officer in distress. Very noble, if you say so. The problem, Mr. Johnson, is that Officer Carter is wanted for questioning in the theft of department property. By taking her from the scene, you've made yourself an accessory. That's a felony. Caleb said nothing. Are you there? I'm here. Good. Then listen carefully. You're in over your head. You're a mechanic, single father, no criminal record. Just a regular guy trying to raise his kid. I respect that. I do. Then respect me enough to tell the truth. Silence on the other end. Then, surprisingly, a laugh. The truth. All right. The truth is Officer Carter stumbled into something she shouldn't have, made accusations she can't prove, and rather than handle it properly through channels, she decided to steal evidence and run. That's not. What you believe doesn't matter. What matters is the law. And the law says you're harboring a fugitive. Hale's voice hardened. Which means I can get a warrant for your house. I can have officers there in 10 minutes. We'll arrest you. Take your son into protective custody while we sort this out. Caleb's blood went cold. You can't. I'm a police captain, Mr. Johnson. I can do a lot of things. A pause. Of course, this doesn't have to get complicated. You give me Officer Carter. We'll say you found her on the road, got scared, made a mistake. You'll get a citation. Nothing more. Your boy stays with you. Your life goes back to normal. And Emily gets the help she needs. The kind of help that ends with a funeral. Another pause. Longer this time. You're making assumptions based on the paranoid accusations of a woman who's clearly unwell. Or I'm making assumptions based on the fact that you ran her off the road and tried to kill her. Prove it. Caleb looked at the thumb drive on the coffee table. Small. Innocuous. Proof, Mr. Johnson. I'm trying to be reasonable. But my patience has limits. Give me Carter. Now. Or I promise you, your son will pay the price for your stubbornness. The threat was barely veiled. You'd threaten a child? I'd protect the integrity of my department. Sometimes that requires difficult choices. Hale's voice dropped. You have 2 hours to decide. 2 hours to bring Carter to the 17th precinct. After that, we come to you. And when we come hard. The line went dead. Caleb stood there, phone in his hand, heart hammering. What did he say? Emily had pushed herself upright, pale and shaking. He wants you. Threatened to arrest me. Take Ethan. You should do it. Emily's voice was flat. Give me up. Save yourself. And then what? They kill you and come after me anyway because I know too much? Maybe. Probably. She looked at Ethan, still sleeping. But at least your son would be safe. Caleb thought about that, really thought about it. Could he trust Hale to keep his word? To let them go? Men like Hale didn't leave loose ends. If Caleb gave up Emily, he and Ethan became witnesses. Liabilities. They'd have an accident. Gas leak. House fire. Something convenient. We need to get Ethan out of here. What? If they're coming, Ethan can't be here. I need him somewhere safe. Where? They'll be watching. Family, friends, I know someone. Caleb pulled out his phone, scrolled through contacts, found a name he hadn't called in 2 years. Marcus Riley. We served together. Army. He owes me. Will he help? Only one way to find out. The call connected on the third ring. A groggy voice. Who the hell, Caleb? Marcus, I need a favor. Big one. Jesus, man, it's 4 in the morning. I need you to take Ethan for a few days. No questions. Silence. Then Marcus's voice came back, alert now. Sharp. What's going on? I'm in trouble. Bad trouble. Police trouble. Police? Caleb? What did you... I can't explain. Not on the phone. Can you help or not? Another pause. Caleb could picture Marcus standing in his apartment in Lakewood, doing the mental calculation. Risk versus loyalty. Bring him over. 1 hour. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. You survived this. You owe me the full story. Deal. Caleb hung up, looked at Emily. At the choice he'd made and couldn't unmake. Okay, he said. Here's what we do. Marcus Riley lived in a 3rd-floor walk-up near the lake. Ex-Army Ranger, now worked private security. The kind of guy who kept his weapon oiled and his door locked. The kind of guy who didn't ask stupid questions. Caleb carried sleeping Ethan up the stairs. Emily moving slowly behind them. Every step seemed to cost her. Marcus opened the door before they knocked. Took one look at the situation. Inside. Now, the apartment was sparse, functional. Couch, TV, weights in the corner, photos on the wall. Their unit. Afghanistan. Younger men, fewer scars. Marcus locked the door behind them. Threw 3 deadbolts. Who's the woman? Cop. Bad cops are hunting her. And now me. Fantastic. Marcus rubbed his face. And the kid? Stays here, with you. They come looking, you don't know anything. Ethan's visiting a friend. That's it. Caleb. Marcus, I know I'm asking a lot, but you're the only person I trust. Caleb laid Ethan on the couch, pulled a blanket over him. His son didn't wake. Exhausted. If something happens to me, take care of him. Please. Marcus looked at the sleeping boy. At Caleb. 20 years of friendship in that look. Nothing's gonna happen to you. Can't promise that. Then don't die, idiot. Marcus went to a locked cabinet, opened it. Inside, enough firepower for a small war. He pulled out a Glock 17, 2 magazines, handed them to Caleb. You remember how to use one of these? It's been a while. Point and shoot. Not much changes. Marcus grabbed a tactical vest, a flashlight, zip ties. What's your plan? Get evidence to someone who matters. FBI. Press. Someone. And if the bad cops come to your house first, then I slow them down. Emily spoke from the doorway. This is insane. You're not a soldier anymore. No. Caleb agreed. I'm a father. That's worse. He kissed Ethan's forehead. The boy stirred, mumbled something in his sleep. Love you, buddy, Caleb whispered. Be good for Uncle Marcus. Then he stood, took the gun, checked the load. Muscle memory. 12 years since he'd held one with intent to use it. Marcus, if I don't call by tomorrow morning, you'll call, but if I don't, there's a lawyer, Sheila Watts. She has my will. Ethan goes to Sarah's sister in Pittsburgh. Money's in a savings account at First Merit. Not much, but enough for a few months. Caleb, just promise me. Marcus gripped his shoulder. I promise. But you're coming back. Caleb hoped that was true. They left before dawn. Emily, moving easier after rest and water. Still pale. Still hurt. But alive. Where now? She asked as they got into his truck. We get this evidence uploaded somewhere they can't touch it. Then we go public. They'll be watching my apartment, my email, everything. We don't use yours." Caleb pulled out his phone. "We use mine. I upload to my cloud drive. Email it to every news station in Ohio. FBI field office in Cleveland. Make it impossible to suppress. That'll paint a target on your back. Target's already there." He started the engine. Might as well make it count. They drove back toward his house. The sun was rising, pale and weak through the snow clouds. The city coming awake. Caleb thought about Ethan. Safe with Marcus. That was what mattered. If he died today, at least his son would live. That was enough. It had to be. They had 40 minutes of peace. Caleb used it to upload everything. The thumb drive contained hundreds of files, spreadsheets, video clips, audio recordings. He copied it all to his cloud storage, sent emails to every news outlet he could find. The FBI field office, even the mayor's office. Carpet bomb approach. Couldn't stop all of it. Emily sat at his kitchen table, drinking water, eating crackers, getting her strength back. "They'll claim it's fabricated," she said. "Let them. Once it's out there, they can't pretend it doesn't exist." Hale has friends. High up, city officials, judges. Then we go federal. Public pressure. Make it too big to bury. The doorbell rang. They both froze. Caleb moved to the window, peered through the blinds. 3 police cruisers, 6 officers, full tactical gear. "They're here," he said quietly. Emily stood, unsteady. "Back door? Probably covered. Then we fight. You can barely stand. Then I'll fight sitting down." She pulled her service weapon from its holster, checked the magazine. "I'm not dying without taking some of them with me." Caleb looked at her. Really looked. This woman was ready to die for her principles. For justice. For her daughter. Just like he was ready to die for his son. "Okay," he said. "We fight." The doorbell rang again. Then a voice. Loudspeaker. "Caleb Johnson. This is Captain Victor Hale. We have a warrant for your arrest. Open the door. Come out peacefully." Caleb moved to his bedroom. Pulled the dresser in front of the door. Not much of a barricade, but something. Emily took position behind the kitchen counter. Good sightline to the front door. Cover from incoming fire. Caleb joined her, gun in hand. "This is your last warning, Mr. Johnson. Open the door, or we're coming in." Silence. Then the front door exploded inward. Battering ram. The frame splintered. Officers poured through, weapons raised. Caleb fired twice. Center mass. The first officer went down, body armor catching the rounds but knocking him back. Emily fired from the kitchen. Methodical, controlled, 3 shots, 3 hits. The officers scattered, taking cover. "Officer down! Officer down!" Return fire. The house erupted. Bullets punched through drywall, shattered windows, kicked up plaster dust. Caleb ducked, rolled to the side, came up firing. Years of training flooding back. Not thinking, just reacting. An officer came around the corner. Caleb shot him in the leg. The man went down screaming. "Caleb!" Emily's warning came too late. Pain exploded in Caleb's shoulder. He stumbled, his gun clattering away. Looked down, blood spreading across his shirt. Damn it. He grabbed his fallen weapon with his left hand. Awkward, wrong-handed, but functional. Emily provided covering fire while he retreated to the hallway. His shoulder was on fire. The bullet had gone through. Exit wound in the back. He could still move his arm, still fight. "Kitchen's compromised," Emily said. Blood ran down her side. She'd been hit too. Falling back, they retreated to Caleb's bedroom, locked the door, shoved the dresser against it. Footsteps in the hallway. Voices coordinating. Breach in 30 seconds. Caleb looked around. No other exits. Window led to a 2-story drop onto concrete. "Trapped. We can surrender," he said. "They'll kill us." "Maybe." "No, maybe." Emily leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Hale can't let us live. Not now. Not after what we've sent out. Then we'd be here, better than on our knees. The bedroom door shook. Once. Twice. The dresser held. Then someone fired through it. Holes appeared in the wood. Caleb and Emily flattened against the side walls. Flashbang. Something small flew through the broken door. Caleb closed his eyes, covered his ears. The explosion was deafening. White light burned through his eyelids. His head rang. Figures burst through. Tactical team, black gear, night vision. Caleb fired blind. Hit one. Maybe two, but there were too many. Hands grabbed him, slammed him to the floor. His wounded shoulder screamed. Someone kicked his gun away. Clear. Suspect down. Get the woman. Emily fought. Caleb heard the struggle. Heard her cursing, fighting, refusing to go quietly. Then, silence. Caleb was hauled to his feet. Zip ties cut into his wrists behind his back. His shoulder bled freely. The room spun. Captain Hale stepped through the broken doorway. Not a hair out of place. His uniform still perfect. Mr. Johnson. You've caused quite a bit of trouble. Go to hell. Probably. Hale looked at Emily, restrained by two officers. Officer Carter. Quite the chase. But every chase ends. You can't cover this up, Emily spat. It's out there. Uploaded. Sent everywhere. We'll see. Hale pulled out his phone, made a call. Status? A pause. Good. Wipe it. All of it. He hung up. Smiled at them. My people are very thorough. Your cloud storage is being deleted as we speak. Your emails intercepted. This whole situation will be classified as a murder-suicide. Disgruntled mechanic, mental health issues, kidnapped and killed a police officer. Tragic. People will ask questions, Caleb said, and we'll have answers. Prepared testimony. Evidence. We're very good at this, Mr. Johnson. You're not the first problem we've solved. What about my son? Hale's smile widened. What about him? Cold terror flooded Caleb. You touch him, I swear. You'll what? You're a dead man. You just don't know it yet. The gun pressed against Caleb's temple. He closed his eyes. Thought of Ethan. Safe. With Marcus. Far from here. At least he'd done that right. The gun cocked. Then, sirens. Lots of them. Hale's head snapped up. What the hell? An officer at the window. Captain, we've got FBI vehicles. Multiple. Surrounding the block. That's impossible. Sir, they're setting up a perimeter. They're calling for us to stand down. Hale's face went pale. Then red. How did they? The cloud upload had auto backup, Emily said quietly, smiling through blood and pain. To an FBI server. Anonymous tip protocol. Even if you delete the original, the backup's already in federal hands. I'm smarter than you thought. Emily coughed. Game over, Victor. The FBI took over the scene within minutes. Federal agents in blue windbreakers swarmed the house. Caleb and Emily were separated from Hale's officers, given medical attention, treated as victims rather than suspects. Caleb sat in the back of an ambulance, a paramedic bandaging his shoulder, while FBI Special Agent Carmen Torres took his statement. You're lucky to be alive, Torres said. She was 40-something. Sharp eyes, the kind of competence that came from decades of cutting through bureaucratic nonsense. Half an hour later, you'd be dead. How'd you know to come? Officer Carter's backup triggered at 4:47 a.m. Auto upload to a secure federal server. We got the full dump. Video, audio, financial records, everything. Torres glanced at Emily, being loaded into another ambulance. She's been feeding us information for 6 months. Undercover cooperation. That explained a lot. So this was a sting? More like a last resort. Carter was supposed to make contact with us yesterday. When she didn't show, we got worried. Your uploads confirmed our worst fears. Torres closed her notebook. Captain Hale and 6 other officers are under arrest. We're executing warrants across the department as we speak. By tomorrow, this entire corruption network will be dismantled. And Emily will be fine, hero cop. Took down a corrupt captain. She deserves it. Torres studied him. You know you could face charges. Unlawful possession of a firearm during the commission of a... I know, but given the circumstances and Officer Carter's testimony, I think we can work something out. Probation, community service. Nothing that'll cost you your kid. Relief flooded through Caleb. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank Carter. She fought like hell for you. Torres stood. You're a good man, Mr. Johnson. Stupid, but good. I'll take that. The paramedic finished bandaging his shoulder. You need to go to the hospital. That wound needs proper care. Later. I need to get my son. Mr. Johnson. Later. He climbed out of the ambulance. His legs were shaky, but they held. Emily was being loaded into her ambulance. Their eyes met across the chaos. She lifted her hand. A small wave. He waved back. Then she was gone. Sirens wailing into the morning. Marcus's apartment. Caleb knocked. Waited. The door opened. Marcus stood there. Ethan peering around his legs. Ethan launched himself forward. Caleb caught him, ignoring the pain in his shoulder, pulling his son close. You're okay, Ethan said, his voice muffled against Caleb's chest. You're okay. I'm okay. You're bleeding. Just a scratch. That's a lot of blood for a scratch. Despite everything, Caleb laughed. Yeah, it is. He held his son. Felt the small heartbeat against his own. Alive. Safe. Together. Marcus cleared his throat. So, you survived. Barely. The bad cops? Arrested. All of them. Good. Marcus ruffled Ethan's hair. Kid was worried about you. I know. I'm sorry, buddy. Ethan pulled back, looked up at his father. Did you save her? The cop lady? We saved each other. That's cool. Ethan paused. Can we go home now? Caleb thought about his house. Bullet holes, broken door, blood on the carpet. Not yet. We'll find somewhere else to stay for a bit. Let things settle. Okay. Ethan leaned against him. Dad, yeah? Next time you're going to be late, just text me, okay? Caleb pulled his son close again. Deal. 3 months later, Caleb stood outside Ethan's school, waiting for dismissal. His shoulder still ached sometimes, especially when the weather changed. The scar would be permanent. A reminder. He didn't mind. The doors opened. Kids poured out, shouting, laughing. Full of energy only 8-year-olds possessed. Ethan saw him. Waved. Ran over. You're early. Told you I would be. Yeah, but you're always late. Not anymore. New job has better hours. Bernie had given him a supervisor position. More pay. Caleb didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a guy who'd gotten lucky. But he'd take the job. Can we get ice cream? Ethan asked. It's February, so it's freezing. Ice cream doesn't care about the weather, Dad. Caleb smiled. Fair point. Let's get ice cream. They walked toward his truck. New one. Used, but reliable. The old Dakota had been impounded as evidence. Insurance eventually paid out. Small miracles. Yeah, buddy? Is Officer Emily okay? She is. She's back to work. Got a promotion, actually. Sergeant now. That's good. Ethan was quiet for a moment. She has a daughter, right? Sophie. Does she get to see her? More now. She and her ex-husband worked things out. Joint custody. That's good. They reached the truck. Caleb opened the door for Ethan, waited for him to climb in, buckled his seatbelt. Yeah? I'm glad you helped her, even if it was scary. Caleb looked at his son. Sarah's eyes. Her determination. Growing up too fast, but growing up good. Me too, buddy. And Dad? Yeah? Thanks for coming home. Caleb's throat tightened. Always. He closed the door. Walked around to the driver's side. Got in. Started the engine. Drove toward the ice cream shop, his son chattering beside him about school, about friends, about a science project on volcanoes. Normal. Blessedly normal. In the rearview mirror, the school disappeared. The past 3 months, the violence, the fear, it was there, always would be. Part of him now. But it didn't define him. He was Caleb Johnson. Mechanic. Father. The guy who'd made a choice on a snowy road and refused to regret it. Emily Carter lived. Justice was served. Corrupt cops went to prison. And Ethan got his father back. Not perfect, not wealthy, not safe from every danger the world could throw at them. But together, that was enough. More than enough. It was everything. Dad, you're smiling. Caleb looked at his son. Nothing's funny. I'm just happy. You're weird. Yeah, Caleb agreed. Yeah, I am. He turned toward the ice cream shop, the February sun breaking through the clouds, and drove toward tomorrow.